Welcome back. The President has requested governors to pay at least 25% of the refunds made to them from excess deductions for external debt service to pay outstanding workers' entitlements. President Muhammadu Buhari approved the sum of 552.74 billion naira to be paid in batches to all the states that are owed. The 33 affected states are, however, expected to receive 25% of their approved sums in the first instance this week. The Senior Special Assistant to President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Shehu Garba, explains that the refunds were made available following the governor's claims that they had been overcharged in deductions between 1995 and 2002. In the meantime, the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, says the issue of workers' benefits, particularly salary and pensions, must not be allowed to continue as a national problem and should be tackled with all the urgency it deserves. Meanwhile, the Ogun State government has approved the sum of 12.5 billion naira for the payment of deductions and gratuity to pensioners. Briefing reporters at the Governor's Office Press Center in Abeokuta, the state capital. The secretary to the state government said the disbursement of funds has begun. The government added that it has paid the December salaries to all categories of public servants.
As of today, we are owing deductions of between 11 and 12 months. Government is paying immediately, and indeed, payment had commenced. We are clearing immediately 6 months arrears out of the outstanding deductions to all categories of the workforce. This is costing us 5.5 billion. Our budget and finance experts have advised government that 6 billion that we are released immediately will clear all gratuities from November 2012, where we stopped, and it will take us till around January or February 2014.
Let's check in on today's major business stories. Here's Imana Amawe.
You first. First Bank.
Very many thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's insurance sector regulator, NICOM, is set to carry out a re-verification of the capital base of all insurance firms early in 2017. In an exclusive interview with Channels Television on Thursday, the NICOM Commissioner, Mohammed Kari, says the re-verification is part of the new risk-based management being deployed for better supervision of the sector.
Insurance companies and the reinsurance companies need capital in so many ways and for so many reasons. The approach of the risk-based supervision is determined by the amount of liability you hold against the asset you have provided. And if the liability is higher than your asset by a higher proportion, will require you to beef up a capital. But what we need to do for capitalization is to identify whether the minimum required capital is adequate. At the moment, we have 3 billion for general business and 2 billion for life business, 5 billion for composites, and for reinsurance companies, we have 10 billion naira. Now, to determine whether this adequate minimum capital requirement, we intend to, first thing in the new year, do some capital verification. Since the last consolidation exercise in the industry that held 2007-2008, and if you remember, that was followed immediately by the world financial crisis. We have not had opportunity to really review the capitals existing to see whether they're adequate. But that is the first thing we'll do in the first quarter as we start implementing risk-based supervision.
Now, the year 2017 is just around the corner, and some state governments have begun to put their budgets together. These states include Ekiti, Osun, Rivers, and Borno. This report gives a breakdown of some of the figures contained in the appropriation bills.
In the southwestern part of the country,
Governor Ayodele Fayose of Ekiti State signed the state's 2017 budget of 94 billion naira into law. This year's budget is 1 billion naira higher than 2016's figure.
It's one of the first states.
While Governor Fayose was physically present for the presentation and subsequent signing of the Ekiti State budget, it's a different story in Osun State, as Governor Rauf Aregbesola wasn't there physically to present the state's budget to the lawmakers. The governor is proposing a budget of 138.2 billion naira for the 2017 fiscal year.
Of the current year budget.
Education gets the highest chunk of the 2017 appropriation bill in Borno State, as 183 billion naira has been set aside for that purpose. Although it's not a budget presentation in River State, Governor Nyesom Wike is already talking about some things that will get attention. At the end of the day, what's most important is the execution of these budgets.
And Nigeria's stock market rebounded from a 3-day consecutive loss, gaining 0.18% at the close of trade today. The markets will be closing the week tomorrow for the 2-day Christmas break. For more on how the equities fared, let's join Bisi Adebayo.
Hello there, welcome to the Stock Market Report. The Nigeria equities market recovered from 3 straight days of losses this week, following a 0.18% rise in the all-share index. Thursday's activity was attributed to price performance from 18 gainers, comprising Forte Oil, Better Glass and Corn Oil, which all increased by over 10%. On the other hand, Presco, Honeywell Flour Mills and Warwick Insurance emerged as the top price losers from a list of 13 decliners. Investors exchanged a total of 188.68 million shares worth 1.38 billion naira in 3,161 deals. The most actively patronized equities for the day were Diamond Bank, Sterling Bank and FBNH. And that ends the stock market report. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Thank you, BC. On the global scene, financial markets on Wall Street were mostly in the red as investors digested a series of economic data, while African, European and Asian equities ended mixed in pre-Christmas trade. Let's take a look at the figures. And that's Business News Tonight. Many thanks for staying with us. I'm Emana Amawe. It's back to Amarachi.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks, Emana. Heading on to the skies, Medview Airline has expanded its footprints into West Africa with the commencement of flight services to Monrovia in Liberia and Freetown, the capital of Sierra Leone, via Accra, Ghana. At the Roberts International Airport in Liberia, the managing director of Medview Airline, Munir Bankole, said the airline decided to apply both routes due to its belief in promoting trade and free movement in the sub-region. The flights to both destinations will operate weekly on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays.
Route development is the lifeblood of any airline, and that's exactly what Medview is up to as it opens 2 more routes on the West Coast. As passengers make their way into the parked aircraft, the managing director of the airline also gets on board for the inaugural flight. With a brief stop in Accra, Ghana, 2.5 hours later, the Roberts International Airport in Liberia is the stop. Here, the top boss of Medview Airlines and an ECOWAS envoy speak on the importance of this feat.
You can wake up in Liberia this morning and you find yourself in Accra, and you can be proud of to be in Nigeria and do your business and return back home the next 2 days. So this will improve in business activities. It will enhance the capacity and capability of the people to be able to get something to do rather than being closed up into one particular location.
Today is a good day for Liberia. Today is a good day for ECOWAS. I want to thank Madam President for graciously giving directives. When she received the letter while in Abuja, she said these will go a long way to promote trade and free movement.
And it's straight to the Freetown International Airport in Sierra Leone, where the Nigerian High Commissioner to the country receives the airline's officials.
Airlines that are indigenous to Nigeria are helping us in our diplomatic job. That is strengthening and deepening our relationship with other countries. And really, they are like the window to Nigeria.
The flights to Monrovia and Freetown will operate 3 times a week.
Justice, equity and welfare of the citizenry have been identified as pivotal to good governance in any democracy. These were pointed out by Archbishop Idowu Ferron, the Secretary General of the Anglican Communion Worldwide, during his Christmas message at the 2016 Ogun State Christmas Carol and Service of 9 Lessons at the June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto, Abeokuta, the state capital.
It's Christmas season and different activities commemorate the Yuletide. One of them is the Christmas Carol. This time, it's the Ogun State 2016 Christmas Carol of 9 Lessons. State government functionaries, royal fathers, spiritual leaders and gospel artists are here at the June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto in Abeokuta, the state capital, to witness the occasion. Bible reading, hymns and choruses are highlights of the event.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made.
Popular gospel artist Tope Alabi also adds color to the night. Prayers are said for the state and Nigeria, and with goodwill messages from some dignitaries at the event, the 2016 Ogun State Christmas Carol sets the tone for the celebration of the festivity in the state.
Next on the news at 10, Brazilian Cup side Chapecoense receives Copa and Sudamericana Winners' Trophy after losing almost entire team in an air crash. We'll have more in sports news. Just stay with us.